Hey everybody, welcome to the workshop. In today's episode we're going to be doing a nice little woodworking project where we make a Moxen vise. Say if you're getting into woodworking and you want to get started with a relatively simple project that doesn't take a whole lot of tools to do, but gets you started can work with power tools. You can do this with hand tools. I'm going to be doing a combination of that, and so it's pretty cool to do. It's also a good way to not only get started with an easy project, but also get you a new tool at the same time that you actually get to make. So it's pretty cool to do. Now for me, this is a little bit different because while yes, I am making a Moxen vise, since I also do bookbinding, I need a vise to help hold the books when I'm working on the spines of them. And they have a vise for that, which they call a finishing press. Basically the same thing. So I'm just going to be making it in the version of a Moxen vise. If you really want to go full bore on the finishing vise for a book press, then it's double-sided. It's also made for a book plow. I'm not going that far. We're just going to make a basic Moxen vise in this case, and that's going to work great for me. So I've got a big old hunk of aromatic cedar here, which looks awesome in my opinion. I love aromatic cedar. This is a piece of 8/4. If you don't know, everything when it comes to the thickness of wood goes by quarters. So 4/4 is 1 inch, so 8/4 is 2 inches. Now technically it's going to be just a smidge shy of that. So whenever you go to buy wood, keep that in mind. It's not going to be exactly 2 inches thick. It's going to be a little bit shy. So that's what I've got for here. So I've got just enough wood. This is 47 inches, and I've got just enough wood in here. I'm going to cut 20 inches and have 27 inches, so that way I can have one whole vise, front jaw, back jaw, out of one piece and not having to use multiple pieces of wood here. For the hardware, and I'm not sponsored, but this is Wood River hardware kit. So it's got the round handles instead of just the 2 handle style with a ball end on there. I got this one right here, and I got this off of Amazon. So I got the instructions here, which is pretty darn simple, but all it's going to be is cutting the piece of wood. We're going to clean up the edges. We're going to cut, if you can see on here, there's going to be 2 little gaps here. Well, gaps, what am I saying gaps? There's going to be 2 notches that we're going to cut out of this. And what those notches are going to be for on the back jaw is to be able to, when we put it on a bench, we can use clamps to clamp it down. And even though I'm going to be using it on bookbinding, that's going to work out absolutely perfect for me. Plus, because if I need to take it off the bench, say to do something else like, since I do leather crafting, I'll also maybe wanting to have the entire workbench to work with, so I can easily unmount it and put it away. So that's another reason why I'm making a Moxen vise instead of a traditional finishing vise too, because this is smaller and it's going to work better for my needs, because I don't need to get or build a whole book plow. If I decide to in the future, then maybe I'll do that and I'll make a dedicated vise for that, but the Moxen vise is going to work great. So follow along, because this is going to be pretty awesome today on Adam's Workshop. Well, we've completed another project. The Moxen vise came out looking really nice. Everything works really well. The handles move really smoothly. Jaw goes in and out with no problem. Everything is nice and tight, and I really like it. Now, one thing I did do off camera was the holes here and here for this. It says in the instructions to use 3/4 inch drill for it. And when I did that, they were getting hung up inside of there. It was just a little bit too tight. So I took the next size up and drilled them again with, I think it was a 7/8. And so then that way, it does have a little bit of slop in there, but I think that right there is going to work out a little bit better because that makes it a lot easier to move the jaw in and out. So I did do that, but other than that, one other thing is the instructions also show on the front jaw to cut a 45-degree right here, to actually cut a piece out. For me and what I'm doing, since this is not going to be used for woodworking for the most part, I'm going to be using it for bookbinding, that doesn't matter to me. I did do the round over here because I think it looks a little bit nicer, and it also feels a lot nicer in the hand because everything is nice and smooth and rounded. On the inside jaws here on the top, I just rounded it over a little bit with the sander, not an actual round over bit because I don't want it to be really rounded over, because when I go to put the book in there, I want it to be able to really grab a hold of it right there and pinch it pretty good sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. So for me, the more important part was to not do too much here, but more so just to have the distance between here and here, and then have everything be smooth. So this is going to, I think, work out really nicely. Now also the instructions show that the front and rear jaw would be the same width from here to here, and mine is not. Once again, I don't need that. I don't need it to be exactly the same because that's not going to help me. It's not going to do anything. So, and I didn't really want to have any waste, so by cutting it at 20 inches and 27 inches, I'm literally using the entire board and have zero waste. I guess the only waste I have is just when I cut out the holes for the rods, and that's it. So it's pretty nice to be able to just use up everything you have. So, and this hardware is really nice. I mean, you can see it just goes. So the hardware is pretty nice. Now you can buy a cheaper set of hardware than this. This was, at the time I bought it, $121 on Amazon, and I think there's a different version that's like $47. So you can get it for cheaper, but I kind of like the round handles better than I did the other, so I did splurge for that. So all in all, this is going to work excellent, and I'm really looking forward to doing some more projects like this. So if you found this helpful, if you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all again next time in the workshop.